Okay, hi, this is Judy from Midcounties Co-Op. What I'm going to demonstrate for you today is how to do a butternut squash paella using butternut squash, some paella rice, onions, stock cube and the magical paprika. So that's the butternut squash. What we've done with that, we've very carefully cut it in half, and then we're going to scoop out the centre, get rid of those seeds. Now what you can do with these seeds is dry them and plant them in your garden to make your own butternut squash, to grow your own butternut squash. They do take up a fair bit of space, but it's worth the effort of drying those seeds and then planting them in some soil and watch them grow. So we've scraped the middle out and then put it flat on the flat side there and just cut into centimetre slices like that, being very careful, it's very hard, so do not get your fingers underneath the knife. So once we've got them into slices like that, what you need to do, that's some I prepared earlier, the other half, with a sharp knife, just take that peel off. So we're left with that lovely orange fleshy bit. Okay, and then we're into slices like that. What we're going to do, we're going to just cut that into smaller pieces, and we're going to pop it in a saucepan of cold water and bring it to the boil and cook it for about 10 minutes. So there we have our butternut squash. It's been peeled, de-seeded and chopped into about 1 centimetre to 1.5 centimetres dice. Put that into a pan of cold water and bring that to the boil and cook for about 10 minutes. While that's cooking, we're going to prepare the onions, 2 or 3 onions. Just take the top off and the bottom, take the brown skin off and any of the outside peel. And then when you chop them, the best way to do this is to cut in half first and then put the flat side down so that you're not rocking it like that. You need to make sure it's flat, and then cut into the onion 3/4 of the way and then cut the other pieces up. And when you've done that with all the onions, put it into a frying pan with some cooking oil and fry it very gently without colouring for about 8 minutes until it's all gone soft. The longer and slower you cook the onion, the sweeter the flavour will be. Okay. So we put that into a frying pan, and there we have some that we've done earlier. So that's nice and soft there, not quite coloured, so that's going to be nice sweet onions there. We've got the butternut squash coming up to the boil. We have the onions that have fried very gently for about 8 minutes there, so they're nice and soft. The paella rice we're doing a butternut squash paella. You can use risotto rice if you want, but it's really nice with the paella. So just pop the paella rice in there. Give that a stir round. So that the paella rice is covered in the oil. And then we're going to add some of the paprika. So a couple of tablespoons. It's not hot paprika, so therefore you can add a couple of tablespoons and it won't be too hot. Oops, I've got that open there. So you might have had a sweet smoked paprika delivered or one of the normal Co-op paprikas. So a couple of tablespoons of that gives it a lovely smoky flavour. Just give that a little stir. So the paprika has been added and we're just going to give that a little stir for 30 seconds, and then we're going to add the water that the butternut squash has been cooked in, because that will give it a lovely sweeter flavour as well. So that's the paella rice with the paprika and the onions. The butternut squash has been cooking for about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, so it's just cooked. You can tell because the knife just goes through. And what we're going to do now, we're going to add about a litre of the water from the butternut squash into the paella, and that gives us a lovely flavour. So we've got a jug there, that's 500 millilitres. So what we're going to do is add approximately 2 jugfuls. Now this will sizzle a little bit. You can see the flavour in that liquid already. So just pour that straight in. So that's 500 millilitres. It doesn't matter if you get a little bit of the butternut squash in, but the flavour of that water does give it a lovely, lovely taste. So that's 1 litre straight in. Give it a little stir round. We're going to bring that up to the boil. You can see the colour of that has gone a lovely deep red. That's from the paprika. And just to make sure there's a little bit of that all seasoning, we've got a vegetable Knorr stock cube. The vegetable Knorr stock cubes are gluten-free. So just stir the stock cube into that. Make sure that's all dissolved. We're going to bring that up to the boil and cook for about 10-15 minutes with the lid on until the water's been absorbed by the paella rice or risotto rice if you're using that. Now the flavour should be really good. We're going to add the butternut squash that's been cooked right at the very end, so we know it's cooked. An addition that you can do, or an optional extra, is add some fresh sage or some dried sage if you have that in the store cupboard. So just pop the lid on, turn it down to medium to low and leave that to simmer, checking on it every 5 minutes. So the paella has been cooking for about 20 minutes. It's nearly absorbed all the liquid. So the only thing left to do is to add the cooked butternut squash. And just give that a gentle stir. And there we have our butternut squash paella. Another option that you could do at this moment is add some chorizo sausage, some sliced chorizo sausage, but it's perfectly good on its own, vegetarian. Okay, butternut squash paella. Thank you.